Yeah, hi. Let me introduce myself. I'm Amar. I'm currently working at Capgemini Hyderabad as a senior data engineer. I work on DBT majorly. I have around 8 years of experience with 4+ years into DBT, Google Cloud, then Snowflake, and rest of the part is data analytics, Python. So for DBT, we require SQL. As I've seen, everyone is working on ETL and Snowflake. So SQL, I guess everyone knows that. So it has a little bit of Python knowledge also required, where for loop if else statements, that should be fine. So let's start with DBT. So DBT is more about modern data transformations. It's called a data build tool. So it is majorly used for transforming the data once that is ingested into our landing location. So what is exactly is DBT? So DBT is a development framework that uses SQL with a combination of best software engineering practices like Python and developing building building code with modularity, and it is majorly by data analysts and data engineers to work with data. So how is DBT used? So actually DBT is used majorly by ETL in ETL transformations itself. So extract, transform, load. So as of now, there are two types, ETL and ELT. So whereas extracted data is extracted, then loaded into our data warehouse, then the DBT use of DBT occurs. So we once the data is loaded into our landing location, from there we would write SQL queries, then that would transform the data into our staging location and curated location. It can be different types of locations that we defined based on our requirements. So in production, it is majorly staging layer, curated layer, acquisition layer, or sometimes we have confirm layers. So DBT connects to various data warehouse, BigQuery, Snowflake, Redshift, or any other data warehouses. So DBT uses uh, the space in the data warehouse itself to transform the data. So we just write the SQL statements. At the backend, it automatically creates the DDL statements, insert, create, update statements to update the tables in our data warehouse. So to use DBT, we require a data warehouse. That's where we connect it to, then transform the data in it. Yeah, so it is mostly used by data analysts and data engineers to effectively transform the data into tables, views, and so we have tables, views, incremental models. So where incremental models means where data is updated in the same tables, like overwritten. So DBT can be used for various transformations. So with DBT, we have less of manual work, more impactful analysis. So there's no need to do lots of manual work where we have to test everything separately once the data is ingested, where we have to write various types of sequels to test it. So that is all not required. So we just have to analyze what type of transformations we have to do and write the select statements. Rest all it takes care, like creating the table and updating the table. So there is, with use of DBT, there is no need to go to data warehouse and start creating the table. If you see Snowflake or any BigQuery or any other data warehouse, so we create the table like importing and exporting the table, exporting the data. So we click on create, then write create statements in primary key, then write all the logic about ID columns, all the columns we list them out. So everything is not required. We just write the select statement. DBT automatically creates the create statements at the backend. and transparent business logic. So while using DBT, we can so business logic is very
Amar,
transparent. Yeah.
sorry, Amar. Actually, your PPT is not. I think still in showing like a first page.
Okay.
I don't know.
Sorry. Is it same for everyone?
No, Amar, actually it's fourth page for me. So
Okay.
Yeah, now it is.
Yeah.
Now it is maybe getting with the
yes, now
DBT.
it's moving.
Now it. Yeah, it's coming.
Okay.
Yeah, with DBT. Right now. Now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So with DBT, we have less of manual work. So it eliminates the time spent on repetitive tasks, manual queries, and data testing. So transparency is more. So everyone can see and explain what queries or what metrics we are writing. Because everything is SQL statements, everyone can understand what exactly is being processed, what tables are being processed, and collaboration. So no more duplicative queries with collaboration. So in DBT we have macros also, something called macros, where we use small snippets that are used for repetitive tasks. So once that is written, code snippet, it can be used in any number of models directly, so that it it can generate the values directly. For example, there are calculations, various calculations. For example, in an orders table, we want to convert the orders into rupees in 10 tables. So instead of writing the SQL or calculation in every model, we write the macro. Then we call the macro. It's like calling a function. It's like calling a function. So once we call that, it would directly get the SQL, the calculation into all the 10 tables, and greater accuracy and reliability. So we would know more about data with built-in testing. So with DBT, we have built-in testing where we can check for null values, unique values. It's just writing one schema file, and it would check everything else automatically. And we have built-in DBT packages also, where it would check what exactly, for example, in our data, if we only want positive values in our production data, we don't want any negative values. We just have to use a package called DBT unit test utils package, and we define expression or column less than 0. Then it would automatically test every time when the data is ingested. It would automatically test if the data is reliable or not, accurate or not. So there is no need to write SQLs separately to test it. So this is so why DBT? So we have raw data coming from here, so we can develop, test, document, and deploy. Everything can be done within the uh, same DBT environment. So DBT can connect to various data warehouse. This is Snowflake, Redshift, BigQuery, Databricks. This is uh, I'm not sure about this name. Yeah, this is one more platform. So once that is done, it directly transforms into raw data into data sets, various data sets that we define, that can be used by BI tools or ML model or any other downstream applications. Okay, so DBT has two different types: DBT Cloud and DBT Core. So DBT Cloud, uh, in DBT Cloud we have so this is the architecture of DBT Cloud. So this is the DBT mod set. So we have an inbuilt Postgres data warehouse that's connected, and this has IDE services, cloud application, schedule service, and semantic layer. So in this DBT Cloud application, we have a version controlling tool like same as Git. So it enables us various developers to work on similar project from different branches and ingest the code into it. Then move the code into main branch, then deploy it. So it works similar to Git. So we will see more about it in practical sessions. And once that is it is connected to internet. So this is where we have various users. We develop different code, then ingest it. So this is connected to our data warehouse. So the main use of DBT Cloud application would be it can directly see the compile codes and the data itself in the cloud application. So this is where it is more useful, where we can directly see data whenever we are working on the model directly. So it directly forms the lineage also after working on it. So it is more faster, more reliable, accurate. Accuracy improves by using the DBT Cloud application. I mean, it lessens the time taken to query the data and go into data warehouse again, check if the data is correctly consistent. So that is the drawback in the DBT core. So yeah, but the main disadvantage in DBT Cloud would be it's costly. It's $100 per a developer in a team. Yeah. So whereas DBT Core, it's an open source application, open source tool. So we can any number of analytical engineers can use. So majorly in most of the companies we use DBT Core. We connect our Snowflake or BigQuery data warehouse to our local environment directly. We use a file called profiles.yml where we give out the credentials of Snowflake, the user account and all. We connect it to data warehouse. Whereas in DBT Cloud, we just have to add them in the application itself while creating the project. So in so these are DBT Core are command line. We have to use pip install DBT Core to install it, and the Python version requirement is 3.7. So these are all requirements are reduced in DBT Cloud. So it automatically has everything. We just have to directly set up our data warehouse. That's it. So in DBT Core, we have to use pip install DBT Snowflake or pip install DBT Postgres depending on our data warehouse. Okay. Any questions till now?
Please correct me. So the data sources, right? I mean, as per the DBT architect, as you mentioned, it could be supporting for Postgres or scheduling IDE, right? So I mean, it could be a DBT tool like only for transformation or apart from any other things like because we are receiving from multiple data sources data, right? So
Yeah.
some of the cases like we are placed the file into some AWS S3 packet or from there directly we can use DBT or only for directly we can connect from any Oracle such kind of databases we can connect.
So only from databases we can connect.
Okay, which means like for example Oracle database you can connect Oracle database. From there you can get the data into DBT, then it will move into warehouse.
Yes, yeah. So from any raw layer, so raw data is sent to data warehouse first. So there would be a landing
No,
location, right?
right. No,
Data.
the raw data raw data, even in AWS S3 packet also, that is also we consider raw data, right? But
Yeah,
we cannot, we cannot retrieve the data from there through DBT.
yes,
Not possible.
yeah,
Will it be
yeah.
possible?
No, it's not possible because raw data that is in terms of files, .csv files and all. So once it is landed into the data warehouse, it is in the form of table. So that's where we
Oh,
take
okay.
the data from.
No, it could be supporting semi-structured as well, right? DBT.
Yeah, it would support semi-structured data, but it won't support files, right? So we cannot ingest files into DBT. We can ingest only the data into the DBT. So it takes the
Oh,
data, not files. So
okay, okay,
as you can
got
see,
it.
it is built on top of data warehouses. So for DBT to work, it has to connect to a certain data warehouse. From there only it can take data.
Okay, loading and transformation. Okay, okay, got it.
Loading and transformation.
Okay, okay, yeah. Thanks so much. Thank
So extract, load, it's loaded into the data warehouse, then transform.
you.
Or
Got
else
it. Okay.
we can term it as this also. We are extracting from the landing location, transforming them and loading into the upstreams, the curated or confirmed location. Okay, let's move on. So actually
Sir, I
for
have a
working
question.
on,
So, shall I?
yeah,
Yeah. So,
yeah, please.
transformation data means actually like performing ETL operations or just like loading data. Once we talk,
No, performing ETL operations.
okay, perfect. So it's like
Yeah.
extract
So
also
so
transfer. Yeah, please.
yeah, it is it is not extracting. Basically in our production, what happens is we get the files from various source systems. So once the files are basically they come to a S3 bucket or any Google Cloud buckets. From there they are ingested into our data warehouse. They land in a certain location, like acquisition tables and all. So from there we use this DBT tool. We connect DBT to, so our sources would be the raw data in the landing location in the cloud, in any of the data warehouse.
I
So
mean,
it
it's
is
act
form
as
of
a like
similar.
middleware between the like source and the actual destination. Can we say it's a middleware?
So our source would be our acquisition table, the data in the acquisition table.
Okay. It
So
comes
so
anyways
there are
in between, right? Middle one. So because it's
in between.
consuming the data and like it's extracting, performing ETL operation, and then like it sends to BI tool or model operations analytics, right, sir?
Yeah, that's right. Actually, there are two
Correct.
types of ETLs. So that's what I told. So normally ETL refers to data is extracted from the sources, that is directly from the applications. They have one SFTP bucket or something. Then we have a scheduler that sends the data to various files to our landing location. That is sent to our data warehouse. So this is a process, right? Extract, transform. So in between we can transform the data. But right now what we are doing is we are extracting and loading into our data warehouse, then transforming it. So we are performing ELT on our raw data here. But if we look from another perspective, once the data is landed into raw data is landed into our data warehouse landing location, here we are extracting from the landing location, then transforming the data and loading into the curated or confirmed model. So it is here also we are performing one ELT. So we can term it as that. Sorry, ETL. So here it is ETL, or else if we refer in form of business scenario where uh, data is coming from a different source, different application. So extract and it is loaded into our data warehouse. Then we are transforming the data. Uh, any questions on this? Please let me know. I can explain it. Okay. Hello.
Sir, I have
Yeah,
followed.
please,
Thank you.
please
Yeah, I have
continue.
followed.
Yeah, please continue.
Okay. Okay, got it. So for this, we require a Snowflake account. So we would be doing some practical, working with practical data where I would be using Snowflake sample data, and then we would be working, creating various models, then transforming the data into staging and confirm layer. Then we would be creating prod and dev environments here. We would be working on dev. Then once the development is completed, we would be uh, deploying the data to a prod data warehouse. So similar to how we work in our companies or in production environment. So we would be developing, uh, working on DBT here similarly. So right, I want everyone to set up a Snowflake data warehouse. It has got a 30-day free trial, so you just have to sign up and register using your email account. That's it. And then we create a data warehouse in that. So I've created a new Snowflake account. So over here, this is a Snowflake I've created on top of Azure cloud. So it would give an option to select any of the cloud, Azure or AWS or GCP. You can select any cloud and click create. So we would have this particular UI in Snowflake where we have databases. So here we would be creating dev and prod databases. So we would be using this as the source. So here we have lots of data from various call center data and all. So we will be using this Snowflake sample data, and from this would be source, and from this we would be sending data to our dev warehouse, then to our production database. So to create database, click on this plus database, then prod. So once the databases are ready, we have to create a DBT account also, DBT Cloud. So we would be initially working on DBT Cloud. Once that is done, I would show you how we can work on DBT Core also. Or else let me directly show you. You guys can create the cloud account. So this is the DBT Cloud environment. So we have develop, deploy, and dashboard here. So in develop, we have Cloud IDE. So this is where we have connection. We can set up connection to any data warehouse from this development environment. So we have version control over here. So this is how we set up DBT folders. So we would, okay, let me show you this one. So DBT folder structure. So this would be the general folder structure where we have macros. So blocks of codes that we use that can be used multiple times. So we have analysis folder where we can analyze SQL or business scenarios and get the compiled code. So these won't be executed. It is just for analysis only. Images. So DBT has a functionality where we can generate a lineage graph once our all the setup is done. For example, we have 30 to 40 tables. From there, we get 10 final tables. So to get the dependencies, we create a lineage graph. So lineage graph would be similar to this. So over here, we have three different sources. From three different sources, we have created a staging models. From staging model, we have one requirement called dim customers, that is one requirement, and fact orders is one requirement. So, and from these two, we have one more table. So this is how a lineage graph is created. This helps us view how our data flows in our all the tables. So in DBT, we call the tables as models. So because they are created in models folder. So every SQL development that we do in DBT, it would be added to models folder. So it contains SQL queries for transforming data and analyzing data. So uh, if we get a requirement from our business analyst saying that we want a table that is combination of 10 different tables, like we perform joins, right? So instead of, as the data in the production is very huge, so instead of joining everything at one place, we create intermediate tables called staging tables. From there we would separate them based on business logic, then we would join them at the final table. So this is how, yeah, so they got a requirement to create this metrics. So instead of directly joining and creating this metrics, they have created separate flows, staging, customer staging orders. So in this, they are not taking every row, every column. They are only selecting specific columns. From that, again, they are building these models. So these are some other requirement. So all these three tables would be used by our business analysts or sorry, data analysts and other teams. So that's how. So this concept is called modularity. So dividing the models into uh, various tables, then combining them into a final model. Yeah. So we have models folder, then we have seeds folder. So seeds folder contains CSV files. So they are the static CSV files. For example, we have customers table where we have location, country name and all. So, and we have a countries table. We want a country code to be added to that particular table to join into another table. So we don't have that in our data. So to create that, we can use seeds. So we create a CSV file with every country abbreviation or states abbreviation, then ingest into our data warehouse. So dbt seed is a command to ingest the data into data warehouse. From that, we can combine it to other table. For example, over here, so gsheets.col. So this may be an seed table where we use a CSV file to generate this table, then combine it with other tables to get the final model. So this is how it works. And we have test folder, so we can write all the tests in our so tests are SQL queries or packages that we can use. So a bit of Jinja templating would also be used in tests, and documents. So once everything is done, this DBT automatically creates a document for that, and that also contains the lineage graph. So it would give us the details about what columns we have, what tables we have, everything would be documented. So there is no need to write a separate documentation for this. And DBT project YML. So this is the main configuration where we have details about connection to various, all these models, macros and all. So uh, from this, the DBT project starts. Okay, so if you see the DBT project YML here, so we have models path, model name, analysis, test path, seeds, macros and all. So we can change the names here also, but this is the usual procedure that everyone follows in most of the project. So this is how folder structure is made. Okay. I think that's it for today. We would be working on connecting to Snowflake warehouse, and we would be working on macros and creating incremental models, creating snapshot tables, working on post hooks and all. So we would be working on everything practically that would be used in production environments. Do create the Snowflake Cloud account and DBT IDE account for the next session. So you just have to connect to Snowflake once the account is created. Yeah. Any questions, guys?
Sir, I have one question. Because this side.
Hmm. Okay.
So, like we have created a DBT account, we have created Snowflake. Snowflake is the warehouse, as you said, DBT. So, where the source of that data will come from DBT? Do we have to like load or like it will be this connection?
It would be just connection as of now. So Snowflake has inbuilt data. We would be using the sample data that's already there in the Snowflake.
Okay, and
Let
connection will
me
be
show
there
you.
between DBT and
Uh, yeah, we have to set up a connection between DBT and Snowflake.
Snowflake.
So yeah, so right as of now, these are the data that is already ingested. I'll also show you by taking it from source, or like from source also we would get files only, right? CSV files or XML or JSON files. So we can ingest a file into this particular environment and see how exactly it works. So we would be working on that also.
Yes, yes. Actually, that
So
was
that
my
would be the
question.
source.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Got it.
Hmm.
Yeah. Thank you.
And this is the setup is also fast. We can do it. So after the setup, we would get an option to choose which cloud to select. So we can click on, or else just sign in, and we can meet in the next session. I will also sign in at that session and show you how to connect to our Snowflake database, then connect to the environments. So we have to connect to dev environment first. Then after that, while deploying, we would connect to production environment.